afternoon or good evening, traders. I'm going to do a in-depth analysis on the Telstra Corporation Limited stock on the Australian stock market. Now what we're looking at now, we're just basically looking at a daily chart. Okay, and we can see the months down the bottom here. But the one thing we can notice, and if I just open up my chart just a bit more, notice how the market and the overall market on different stocks, sometimes it's really hard to sort of get a good clear picture of what that stock is doing. Now this is what we call short-term analysis, and what I'm a big fan of is doing big picture analysis. Okay, so you have small term, which is small picture, or big picture. Now this is small picture right now, and if I just squeeze my chart up here, you can see we've probably got about a six or so months down the bottom there, down the bottom on this Telstra stock. Now what's really important is you can see that yes, we've had a nice downtrend for the last say 6 months or so, and I think that's really valid and important to understand as well where the shorter term trend is. But I think we need to understand the big picture, the big trends, and then if we can have a big trend in place, where can we time our in using this smaller picture, which is the daily chart. Okay, so we're going to look at the weekly chart now, and we're going to have a look at where the stock has been and where's it likely to go from here. So I'm just going to squeeze out my weekly chart here as much as I can, and the data I have on my software gives me right back to here, which is 99. So go back to way at 99. And the first thing I like to do is I like to just draw some trend lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw from the top here and then draw it straight down from the bottom. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do. And just all I'm doing right now is, you can see right there, they're the peaks, just making lower peaks all the way down. Now the reason why I drew that is because I want to understand that below that trend line it was completely downward trend. Now without that trend line, it's really hard to visually understand it ourselves what's really going on there. But now we can see something forming. After it broke this trend line, it came back up, came back down, and made a high. So I draw a trend line from the low here, and pick up all these troughs through here. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Just go and draw a trend line through there. And what we can see now is we can see this nice downtrend through here. And once that was broken, it formed a bit of an uptrend. And once that was broken, it's formed a downtrend. Now, wouldn't you say, based on this simple analysis, now this is not all we use in the trading room, so please don't think that. It's very, very important to understand this. But this on simple analysis, you can see that when the Telstra's going down like this, you wouldn't want to buy it, would you? Because it's going down. But if the market's starting to pick back up through here, isn't this a safer point? Even though it did go down, isn't this a safer point to buy? I would definitely say so. Much, much safer than trying to pick a downtrend. At least it went up a little bit here and broke down, and you maybe made a break even, maybe a small loss. Where this, you'll be buying a downtrend. At least this has started to pick to the and made an uptrend through there. But the funny thing is look at this. As the market started to break down, it formed a reversal pattern. And the reversal pattern is this. If I just open up my chart here a bit more, and I'll scroll across, the reversal pattern is this. It's called a head and shoulder formation. See this left here, top here, and the right here. This is called a head and shoulder formation. This is a very, very powerful reversal pattern. So if you were buying this stock, say down the bottom here, as it picked back up through here, and it did break through there, your loss would be limited because you know exactly when to get out. Okay, so that's a few things that we do teach in the trading room. But for now in this video, we can see that uptrend at that time was broken. Now, why I'm doing this is because I'm taking step by step to understand exactly what is happening in the stock right now. So to understand what's happening right now, we need to go back over history to understand what it's doing and where's it going. Okay, so at that point it broke down. It came back up, made a peak, and broke down. So what I do is I grab a trend line and I go from the high down through the low, and you can see, there we go. So you can see as it was below this peak here, as the market's below this, you can see it was making lower peaks, lower troughs all the way down. So there's no way you'd want to buy that. Alright, so now we can see the market broke above it and made a significant high. So what you do is you draw a trend line and you go from the significant low to significant highs. Now, one thing you'll notice, support and resistance do change roles. So let's just say, for example, you bought into here. Okay, the market broke up, broke back down, and formed a little higher high and a higher low here. And you got into there, but then you got out here. You would have done okay, but not great. Okay, but then the interesting thing is this. Look at this. The interesting thing is this. Notice how the market has stopped here and came down. What you would be waiting for then, and what you'll be looking out for then, is another trend line. So what I like to do is I like to go from this bigger peak through here and just draw a trend line down through here. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm really going in depth analysis on this stock here. So we are on a weekly chart now, and we're having a real good look at this stock. See, this is the big picture analysis that a lot of people don't teach and a lot of people don't know, but it's the crucial thing to understand to your short-term analysis, or even long-term analysis as well. So right now we have a lot of trend lines on here. So let's go into delete the ones that's not important, so such as this one here, and this one here, and this one here. Okay, and I'm just going to open up this chart a bit more so we can have a much better look at where we are. All right. There we go. So we're right there. So right now we can see that we do have basically an overall sideways market now. Okay, the market broke back up, and then now it's just gone sideways. But let me squeeze my chart back up again, and let me show you something here. As we can see how we've had many peaks here? See how we've had this peak up here? If I just draw a horizontal trend line through there, notice how this peak up here made this resistance here. Notice how the market came down and formed a lot of resistance all through here as well. All through there. See that resistance through there? I probably got that a bit wrong there, but that resistance line there is significant. If I just draw it on the top of the peaks right there, you can see it's had made a peak here and a couple of peaks here. They are absolutely significant to your overall market. Now let me just delete this trend line because it's not important anymore, and let's just draw a few more peaks and troughs. Notice this peak. Notice this little resistance up here. If I just draw a horizontal trend line, and I'm just going to draw it there. Notice this. Notice how we had a support over here, once, twice, and then broke through. Look where it found resistance. Resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, resistance here. Right around about that same level before knocking it back down. Meaning it's now in a nice downtrend. But the interesting thing is this. If I just draw a trend line down the bottom here, this was the support through here. And remember I said support and resistance change roles. Support became resistance, Once it breaks through, look at that, support there, and also support there. Alright, so right now we're looking at this Telstra Corporation Limited. It's overall sideways. It's not showing up and it's not showing down. You can see that this market is just showing that it wants to continue to go sideways. Now you can see that this is much better. This stock is much better and has performed much better than any other stock based on the top 20 on the Australian market. And the reason why, you see a lot of the top 20 stocks have plummeted because of what's happening in the US. So right now, Telstra is actually holding up pretty well. A lot of the stocks have just plummeted past, their 07, 06 levels, which is down here, where Telstra hasn't actually done that bad. It's just gone sideways. So the big picture analysis, and this is what we do in the trading room every day, but we also time our way in by looking at daily charts with our trend lines on and say, okay, how can we time our way in using these trend lines for a short term, and also what to look for in long term using moving averages and indicators as well to get a nice good setup and the high probability. No, we don't pick the bottom, and no, we don't pick the top. What we like to pick in the middle. We like to grab 60% of the move, and that's what we like. As a short-term trader, we like to get a short move. As a long-term trader, we like to get about 60 to 70% of the move. Sometimes you can't do that, but we know way we do. We pick the highs and pick the lows. We just get nice high probability setups based on what I've shown you here and a lot more in-depth analysis. Please enjoy your weekend, and I'll talk to you later on. Trade in the stock market is risky and can cause substantial financial loss. We do not claim or guarantee your profit from the information provided. The information in these videos is meant for educational purposes only. That being said, I've been trading the market profitably for many years. So please, do your own homework and make sure you look after your current financial situation.